Hello everyone, this is Fabrizio from the UCUG, and today we are here having like the UC launch number 2. This was like an event in the past that we are recording these days in order to provide you the service as well, although we had like a problem with Skype Media broadcast. Today we have a very big content here. We have like the contact center landscape with Skype for Business, and the first session is with Anywhere 365, specifically Roderick Williams. Maybe I did that in a wrong way because I usually call him Roderick. And the title of the session is Dialogue Management for the Business Enterprise, and it will be in English. The second guest will be Plantronics Italy, specifically with Roberto Rossi and Miriam Gottwisch. Maybe I did the second surname wrong too, so apologies for my pronunciation. And it will be a simple smarter headset for the contact center. The third session will be Plenom, Kuando Busylight, optimize your UC environment with Ole Rytter, and it will be in English too. So I'll pass it over to Roderick, and thank you very much, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much, Fabrizio. Let me try to launch my presentation here. Should be loading. So, thank you very much. So my name, actually, it's Roderick Wijmans, as we say it in Dutch. But I wouldn't expect you to pronounce it the correct way. I listened to many different nominations of that. What I'd like to show you is indeed present to you the Anywhere 365 product, which is a contact center application on top of Link and Skype for Business. So Anywhere 365 is the name of our product suite, which is built by Workstreampeople. Workstreampeople is the name of our company. And what we try to do with the Anywhere 365 product is to enhance or to simplify the dialogues between organizations and their customers externally or internally, and devices and things out there in the market, anything that can communicate through text, voice, or even video. Anywhere, so it's a software-based product. We are a company based in the Netherlands, with also some smaller offices in Belgium and the United States, and we are currently deploying our software to over 350 organizations across the world. It is and in 28 plus countries. Some of our biggest customers are companies like Swarovski or DHL. DHL, for example, deploys our software application in a US data center to service the South American market of their internal contact centers, and also to provide chat support for their global organization internally in Europe and in the Asia Pacific region. Swarovski is, of course, the diamond, the glitter, the stones manufacturer, who deploy our application as a large contact center in their Switzerland region, and Philip Morris International, which deploys our multi-server deployments across their global Skype for Business platform. Skype for Business, in multiple data centers, South America, Europe, and Singapore for the Middle East region. So those are some of our biggest customers. Of course, on the other end, we do supply to schools and middle large companies as well, and hospitals in certain market regions. So we are we have quite a big deployment base throughout the world, and we are hoping to still penetrate the Italian markets where we are expecting to catch up with Skype for Business deployments, which are hopefully going to take off pretty soon. So what is Anywhere 365? It is a contact center-based application, and we like to call it dialogue management because we support all the modalities provided by Link, which is now called Skype for Business, meaning exactly is we can support all the text or instant messaging traffic. We support video for video conferencing through websites or customer interaction, and we support, of course, the audio or voice channels through SIP messaging or when attached to a telephone, PSTN line through the regular telephony numbers. Besides that, so we leverage the web content or the web interaction for conferencing through websites. So we could potentially enable interaction with customers through a website, and then leveraging all the channels provided by Skype on the back end. We are a Microsoft, focused company. So besides Skype for Business as a communication platform, we leverage SharePoint as on which we run our management layer. So we provide website access for easy content management, and SharePoint, of course, allows for distribution of user groups and delegated support rights. So we can make, through this mechanism, every person potentially within a company to manage his or own, site and site content. So management of our platform doesn't necessarily have to be placed at just the IT department, but can be dispersed throughout the company and divided, for whoever needs the purpose. We also rely on Microsoft SQL as a data collection platform. SQL gathers all the dialogue management, the dialogue management contact moments, and we provide a reporting platform on that to analyze and to gather all the data, which because we manage so many contents, we also call that big data support for our for collecting all the customer interaction information. We support our platform for on-premise deployment, and we've also made some models to attach our system through federated partners, because Link supports, or Skype for Business supports federation, to support federated cloud delivery partners. So that's what you see on the bottom here. And so we can supply models for all the Skype for Business deployments out there right now, from on-premise deployments to full cloud deployments, whereas, as I have to say, the last scenarios, they do require a federated cloud provider to run our platform to provide those services. So what is Anywhere? So Anywhere 365, it offers a routing mechanism for voice, audio, video through what we call UCCs, and UCC is our abbreviated term for a Universal Contact Center. And the typical roles for which you would use our product are switchboard reception operator consoles, on which a single number comes in on an application and gets routed to one or more switchboard operators on the back end. We support, you can think of service desk, smaller service desk within a company on which a single help desk number is deployed, behind which there are a few agents, skilled agents who can answer calls on behalf of the single number, or you can grow to larger contact center groups deployed over maybe even geographically dispersed areas. Another form of routing in which our platform supports is the boss secretary routing, because in our view it's another configured way of allowing a main number belonging usually to the boss or director to be routed according to specific routing rules to any backend support employees, in this case the secretaries, to allow the offloading of main numbers for a specific boss or manager. And last but not least, because our application gets deployed also in a lot of high schools and universities, we've also envisioned a role model as a student-teacher routing model. And now this is the example where, for example, the professor of a university is being is reachable by his students from, say 2 to 4 in the afternoon, but not outside of those hours. Outside of those hours, all the contact or telephone calls to his personal number will be routed to one of his assistants. But in the meantime, outside of those hours, his peer professors are able to directly contact him, for example. So that's a student-teacher routing model. Next slide. What we try to envision, or what we're proud of, is that because we use standard Microsoft components, we pride ourselves for being able to deploy our platform in a really fast time. In our smallest deployment on a single server, for the smaller environments, I think our record is that we have deployed our application and have the first UCC up and running in 1.5 hours. Of course, we are always reliant on the back end, on the provisioning of specific servers with operating systems, and including our application inside an existing Skype for Business platform. But because we use standard components, standard Microsoft components, and our application is developed with the standard Microsoft service or SDK, we can rapidly deploy our application. Another benefit of using Skype for Business as a backend platform is that all our customers have Skype for Business, and Skype for Business, as like in this session, we can easily get in touch with each other through Open Federation remotely. So all our training and all our support can be very easily done with remote sessions. Because we built our platform on an existing Skype for Business or existing Microsoft platform, we also leverage all the components provided by the Link or Skype for Business ecosystem. So we support all the devices that are out there. We support all the virtualization of servers out there, and we can integrate with a lot of external platforms like CRM databases through the open interfaces provided by the latest technology standards. And last but not least, we pride ourselves in building our software with a very nice look and feel, because we think that having software that looks good will be adapted more easily by your end users, and it allows the acceptance of the software and the willingness to use it a lot faster. That's actually what we see a lot in the market, and something that we get praised for a lot in the market. It is a communication tool that needs to be very efficient after all. So back again, what Anywhere 365 provides is what we call advanced dialogue management, because the dialogue is what takes place between customer and specialist on the other end, for the business enterprise customers relying solely on your existing Skype for Business infrastructure. We see our application in the current markets where we deploy being used, as a contact center, but also as enterprise routing mechanisms. We see our software being included in Skype for Business deployment in the entire PBX replacement sets, and we can leverage all the modalities. We see our product at certain customers being used for just the voice part, or just the audio part, or just the web chat part, but also for all the features, of course, that we provide. Like I stated initially, our smallest footprint that we can install our software on is on one single virtual server, or physical server, but who uses these days. And just to give you a small description of what our product needs, and this is the most technical slide that I have in here. Contact can be made from the internet, from any device, laptop, desktop, smartphones, telephones, through the SIP protocol, or through telephone number through the PSTN. It will come in on the customer's Skype for Business deployment, through the internet, through firewalls, or through your PSTN network. Our application server has the three components: the application, the Anywhere 365 application, the SharePoint layer and the SQL layer for the database. We run some web services for the web chat and web conferencing parts. And this could potentially fit in small deployments on a single virtual server, being able to install this in 1.5 hours. That's a very efficient way of, installing our platform. From the smallest to maybe the largest deployment, our largest customers, they deploy our application. They grow our application to as large as their underlying Skype for Business application is. So our international customers, they typically have data centers with the Skype for Business supporting platform in all the three, main regions of the world, to either one of which they could potentially attach an Anywhere 365 Skype for Business application in order to run one or multiple contact centers to service employees, inside or outside their company, because that is also one of the benefits of Skype for Business, and be part of the contact center or the dialogue management procedures of functionalities of their company. Besides your own employees, of course, Skype for Business supports federation. So potentially our application can be leveraged to also include federated partners or sister companies within your company structure to be included in the contact center channels provided by Anywhere 365. So from small to large, we have proof of and we support all the different models, global deployments provided by Skype for Business. We can grow with your company. We like to say it's designed or tailor-made for your company. As we see several companies or several of our partners deploying our software for different roles within the company. Just go back to the DHL role, the South Americas. They have already deployed our software for the voice and contact channels of the South American regions. And in the European and Asia Pacific regions, they've started with using just the chat channel of our application to give support, as they're in those last two regions. They still rely on their legacy telephony platform, and they will only start to use Anywhere 365 once Skype for Business has rolled out to those regions. So we see we can grow and we can flex with the company policy and the policy, the IT regulations. One of the other applications one of the other, start points of our application is that, or one of the mantras that we say is that our application needs to be able to run on any Skype for Business client that's out there in the market. So our application, there's an animation in this slide, not intentional. So our application can run on can run on any client that's out there, whether it's the full desktop Link Skype Business or app client on Windows desktops, whether it's the Apple Skype for Business client, or it's still a Link client, I believe, out there, or even the mobile apps of Skype for Business from the different mobile platforms, like Windows Mobile, Android, and iOS being, of course, the most popular. Because there, where interaction by any agent or supervisor with the contact center is needed, our first line of contact with that can be done with simple chat commands being chatted to the different contact center entry points. For example, an agent who temporarily does not want to be included in the incoming call queue of a contact center can simply chat the word stop to the specific contact center, and he will not be included in the call queue for those agents, while still being available for his peers and colleagues on regular Link or Skype for Business traffic. On the other hand, a supervisor could, with a simple chat command like listen or talk, you can listen in or talk to an ongoing conversation between a client and an agent. So this way, leveraging the power of, chat and the capabilities of any link client out there in the market to interact with the contact center. Now our management layer. So like I said, the management layer can be done through a website and can therefore be delegated from to any person in the organization. It's web-based. It's built upon SharePoint. It's a responsive website which adapts to the type and size and screen of your the client device that you're using. So it can be used from mobile devices, albeit a smaller screen with a smaller interface, to a full browser. So anywhere with browser access, from any location with browser access to your application, you can use our management website. If that specific user and the user access is based on your Active Directory user rights, is allowed to access that specific page. We have by default, by standard, defined just 3 user roles: read-only, management, or full control, which allows read also to delete some settings. But of course, because it's built on a SharePoint platform, anyone with SharePoint knowledge could potentially run multiple user roles on specific subsites. Just to give an example, a team lead within a company could be just granted access to add or remove agents from a specific UCC contact center group and influence the business and opening hours. But a more advanced, system administrator can have the rights to also add additional endpoints and upload or remove specific audio files for prompts and automated responses. Now, like I said, the regular interface on to be accessed by or to receive calls from our contact center is the regular Skype for Business client, and I'm going to try to refrain to use the Skype for Business client, but of course it's also still supported on the Link platform, Link 2010, 2013, and Skype for Business. What you see on the left-hand side of this slide is the regular Skype client, which could provide interaction with your contact center. And so calls and chats, they all come in on the user end from this side. We do have some client enhancements, like a snap-in tool, which is the black bar on the left-hand side of the client you see, which allows for an enhancement of the client with a small wallboard application, useful for monitoring the status of your coworkers or peers, and for some supervisor functionality to influence the specific link availability or Skype for Business availability from within her specific client. Now, on the right-hand side, you see our extended window view of the Link client. Let me explain that a little bit. The Link client, or Skype for Business client, allows for additional content to be shown within the regular Skype client. You can still see the regular call control buttons on the bottom of the screen, the stop, the screen sharing, and the mute button, for example. But we can allow, with an installation, a simple installation package, to enhance the screen on the client side to show more content. Now, this more content can be CRM data, for example, by which I mean the CRM, which can be attached on the server side to allow call details or customers to be recognized based on their phone number or SIP address when they contact our contact centers. When the agent picks up the call, the regular Skype client will be enhanced with the contact details provided in the screen. We provide several additional functionality within this platform. For example, timeline feature, which allows display of previous contact moments of the user. We have some call transfer or conference functionalities built into this feature to allow for a little easier call transfer functionality to users within or outside the organization, or conference functionality to include additional specialists if additional information is needed within the company. You also see a recording button, for example, that allows for temporary pausing or stopping or starting recordings within for this conversation, because call recording is another feature that's supported on the back end of our software. And it can be fully automated in the back end, but for compliancy reasons, often it is necessary that certain parts of recordings are to be excluded from a recording session. Or we deploy this feature with a switched version in which we can, just save a recording when it's deemed necessary by an agent or a supervisor for either training or quality monitoring purposes, or for recording threats or security due to security issues. Now, the extension window also allows from this timeline feature, which I explained a little earlier, with with drag and drop transfer functionality. So it's a true enhancement to the up to now out of the box transfer functionality of Skype for Business. Just to explain this view again, what you see here is a contact card of a person that's recognized. We can recognize from the CRM data for which the person works, what her phone number is, what maybe her previous contact or previous cases were, which we can pull from a ticketing or CRM system. And the timeline, we can see what the previous conversation moments from this person were. These conversation moments is what we call, the CRM, the dialogue management information, and it is what is provided by Anywhere out of the box and what is stored in the database. I can see this is the same slide, so I'm going to skip that one. Now, there's an animation in here. What this CRM link can do is when a call comes into a customer, into our UCC, when a call gets routed or searched for by to a specific agent, the CRM link, and it just disappeared in the last slide, so you have to think that with this slide. It pulls up information from a CRM system. It can hunt people based on the skills provided in the CRM, or based in the Anywhere 365 platform, and it will hunt the call to a specific available agent, in which it includes the data from the CRM call. Now, with all the information that we gather for each conversation, we can create a social map for each customer. So after enough information has been gathered, you can get a better picture of all the conversation routes within your company, and you may find eventually that some of the calls from person A to B always traverse 3 transfer steps, and so potentially you could improve your communication patterns within your company. Okay, this is the one I wanted to show. One of the applications that we provide on the client side, additional applications, is a reception attendant console, and it's an enhanced link client which allows for easy drag and drop transfer. And I see this is not really the correct slide I wanted to show, but it allows for switchboard operators to easily transfer also with the drag and drop mechanism to allow easy transfer of calls. In the middle side, you can see a calendar screen for which the switchboard can more easily access calendar information of all the peers in your company, and it allows for also this timeline view on the bottom of previous contacts of the caller. We also provide wallboard information. So for larger customer care centers or contact centers, we can provide a full screen desktop wallboard, usually some large computer with a big screen placed on the wall, to provide what's it called, SLA, surface level, and contact information in real time on a large screen. Our dialogue intelligence, our reporting, which I'd like to continue, which I'll show you a few slides later on. We provide, the web chat integration from our website, and we have created for our own company and our own data center a grid chat, so-called grid chat application, which is available in the Android store or Apple marketplace, it's called, and it allows for interaction with with your specific UCCs through a specific web app. This app, the grid chat app that you can find in the store, is designed specifically for our own contact centers, but it can be, the view is that it can be adapted to specific companies out there, for which we can provide the platform and the code, and could develop the contact and look and feel to your house now to provide all the contact details from an app. Of course, also leveraging the framework provided by the Microsoft communication channels. A small overview of all the applications, because I can't really go into detail in the time provided for this presentation, but we have web chat, we can interface with workforce management, we provide a reporting, the grid chat, we can provide contextual voicemail, because we can store the voicemails per UCC as well, if it's not required to be stored on a user basis on your Exchange UM. Tools like remote presence updater for supervisor. We can include outbound routing through an on-premise Skype for Business platform. We do CRM integration. We do the call recording, and we provide some additional web-based functionality like call me back buttons, which often gets included through some form of web chat functionality. And we've created a visitor registration package, which is a website which could potentially notify users for which visitors are available in the lobby of your company through an instant message chat. Now, last but not least, what do we do with all the details that are stored? This is probably the most valuable information to your company. All the contact moments and the dialogues being performed within your company are stored and can be retrieved from our extensive set of report templates. And they're all the contact moments we've provided templates for more agent, focused performance figures, caller, so your customer centered performance figures, or entire UCC performance figures. And so they provide, graphical views of the performance of your contact center, or on the other end, agents, or the call flows dispersed across the time of day. And they can all be drilled down to the entire customer journey provided by the reports. From the moment that a client comes into the platform, which intermediate steps, welcome prompts, or hunting parameters across one or multiple agents have been taken. Even when a call is transferred outside your organization, this call will still be monitored by our application. And if recording was enabled, also the recording can be retrieved from this menu. And for each and every conversation within your passing through a universal contact center, this information is provided. Just a couple more views of what our reporting template looks like. Like I said in the beginning, we pride ourselves in making the product look nice, as well as being useful for, being so for it to be used, by anyone within your company. This is where I want to conclude. I think the time doesn't allow me to do anything more. besides the details probably presented on the website of this UC user group, we are accessible through our own websites, Anywhere 365 or www.workstreampeople.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was really great, and the content is huge. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's too much. There's too much to tell. Yeah.
Yes. My apologies again for the surname, but I usually call you Roderick, so I never went, behind the name. Anyway.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, I'll take over. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And
you're welcome.
Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon again here. Bye now. Let me take over again, and okay, let me present my presentation. Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do now. Okay, we are here again with Miriam Gottschalk and Roberto Rossi from Plantronics. The title of the session is Simple Smart Headset for the Content Center. This is actually after our first session with Roderick and Anywhere 365, so really comes very useful. Now, over to you guys. If you want to start to present, please feel free.
Yes, good morning everybody. Thanks for joining this session. I'm Miriam Gottschalk and I work for Plantronics. Let me just give you an overview of our company in order to position us in the contact set environment. Plantronics is a US-based company from California, Santa Cruz, and has been established far away almost 55 years ago in 1961. Since then, we always focused on voice and intelligibility. So the importance of having a clear voice understood. We went to the moon, we developed a strong connection with the NASA, and we always focus on new technologies in order to be always in line with the new working necessities. So we went from corded solutions to wireless solution using a DEC technology, evolving further on to the Bluetooth technology, enhancing it even more as the UC necessity came over. Right now, our company is focusing on three main innovation waves. The first one is the theme of communication chaos, being in the zone, and last but not least, the theme of today's webinar, the smarter customer interactions. It is key today to be focused on how to work, and work is everywhere, not only in the office. It is asked that people can concentrate and work all around, from home, from on the way, still keeping the high level of efficiency. Multitasking as well is a key point. And this is because all the relationships a man can have are focused on voice. Voice is something that leads us, understands us, and makes us understand and communicate outside the office and inside the office. We need to be clearly understood. In this part, Microsoft and Plantronics are working together over the years. We started as an OEM manufacturer for Microsoft in 2009, and now more than 7 million end users are working with a Plantronics headset while they use a Microsoft environment in the UC landscape. Microsoft and Plantronics rely on each other in order to focus more on the solutions that they provide according to the different suite of necessities that the potential end user can have. The portfolio that we are offering is bright enough to cover all of the necessities, whether you are working inside or outside the office, as well if you are a mobile warrior or if you work from home. According to your necessity, we can give you the right headset, focusing on noise cancelling instead of Bluetooth, multiple connection, sensors. Everything you need is inside our headset. The most important thing is to focus on the real necessity of the end user. We are not doing all the same job, so it is important for us to identify the need of the end user whenever he is communicating, according to what he is using to communicate and what he needs for to communicate. This slide just shows you the different typology of workers we have been identifying in Plantronics, so the fixed desk worker, the flexible worker, the mobile professional, or the hybrid worker. Plantronics is a well-established company with an indirect channel, and we have different channel programs focusing on the reseller landscape, engaging them in different ways according to the opportunity that they are working on, whether authorized, certified, or premium. According to the engagement of the partner, we provide different marketing support. One very, very important step that we offer is the fact that headsets are something new in our way of working. And if it is obvious that in the contact center environment we need a headset, as well it is in the UC environment. But UC are well known but not yet 100% deployed. To enable a smooth transition from a, how can I say, legacy way of working to the new way of working, we strongly recommend the try and return program so that you can test the headset at the end user, different models, in order to really find the one that best suits the needs of the end user. This is totally free and is a service that Plantronics is providing in order to support both customer and reseller. As we said before, change is coming over, and it's time also to change in order to have a smarter customer interaction. Right now, working in the contact center environment is much more difficult than in the past because the end user on the other side is rather skilled. And when he ends up calling in a contact center, he has already done some surveys on the internet and was not able to find the answer to what he is looking for. So most likely he is, how can I say, a little bit upset towards the company he is calling. And also, what we will say in the contact center will immediately be of public domain because during social media they will give feedback on the quality of the contact center and the interaction they had. So it is more and more important that we provide solutions that enable a perfect interaction between end user and company. How does your contact center look like? Does it look like in the slide? So with many, many people just concentrated on one screen, not interacting. This is old. We absolutely need to jump in something more modern. In order to give you more details, I switch over to my colleague Roberto Rossi, who will give you more details about the headset and how they work really.
Hello everybody. I'm Roberto Rossi. I'm a corporate account manager for Plantronics, and I work in the call center environment. Now I'm going to show you the top selling headset in the call center. The call center, as Miriam told you before, is our environment. So we born there, and we keep on living in this environment. So the first one is the Encore Pro HW700. Is our top headset because has a better noise cancelling due to an incredible microphone that deletes almost 95% of the noise around the agent. It's have an headband that is very, very light, and it's very comfortable for people wearing it, and it has an audio, and hi-fi audio, and it's the only one on the market for Plantronics that has 3 years of warranty, because we know that it's really, really durable. The new one, the next is the HW500 series. It's new one. And it's really an incredible product because it's the lightest headset on the market, so very comfortable for people wearing the headset for almost 8 hours per day. It's a new design, is an avionic material for a better durability, and it has a tactile feedback on where you are positioning your mic in order to better position the mic on your lips in order to delete as much as noise around you. He has an incredible acoustic quality because he has 6 dB higher compared to all the other headsets in the market, and a particular focus on the security, because it's the technology sound guard that allows you to avoid sudden noise in your ear. The best seller for the wireless series is for sure the Savvy. This is a three-in-one headset because it has a triple connectivity, so PC, desk phone, and a Bluetooth to connect your mobile phone. It's easy to move from a source to another, and it's easy to have a conference with different sources. The microphone is noise cancelling, and we have a replaceable battery to have an unlimited talking time. And as I told you before, Plantronics is very focused on the security. So he has an active noise at work in order to be compliant with all the legislation about the noise in the office. The headset can be connected both to the desk phone and to the PC. And these are the new USB adapter. We are focused more on the USB because the trend is not just in Italy, but in Europe and worldwide is to move, the call center is moving from a desk phone to a PC. And we created this new USB adapter with compliance with the noise at work legislation, but especially with open APIs. So the engineering team of a company can talk with our engineering team in order to create something unique, such as the sensor on the headset, in order to let your soft phone talk with our headset and to give some commands. This is something new for us because even Plantronics is moving from the headset to software. And the first one we develop is the Plantronics Hub. Plantronics Hub allows you to have a lot of information regarding your headset, your way of usage, the headset, and all the features we can give to a customer choosing our solution. Another focus point for us is for sure the services. We have 24 hours, 7 days, free tool number you can call. If you have any problem, you will find ever a person you can talk with. And our good point for us is the warranty. We have a new services about the warranty, and we can replace the faulty products you have in 24 hours without any charge and without asking to the reseller to do this. We do on our own. And the future, as I told you before, is the software. We developed app, and now we are going to launch a new software in 2 months from now, the Plantronics Manager Pro, that will collect all the info of the Plantronics Hub and will give more features that we will see in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That was marvelous and a really good insight for the Plantronics. So I'll take over again, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll hope to speak to you soon, okay? 1, 2, 3, go.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this brief presentation of the Kuando Busylight. I represent the company Plenom, which is a Danish-based company. We are the manufacturer of the Kuando products, and in this presentation we will only focus on the Kuando Busylight, which is a product that has been produced since 2003, and today the Kuando Busylights are sold in more than 45 countries all around the globe. As a company, we have an overall mission, which is to help create a reliable and an improved unified communications environment for companies and organizations. In the modern world, we see some different office trends. First of all, the open office is gaining pace. Although that it's an old concept, we now see that it's really growing. We see open offices everywhere, and the new ways of working is also gaining pace. When I say new ways of working, I'm mainly thinking about agile working, activity-based working, where people not necessarily have a designated seat, and when they come in the morning, they don't know where they will sit. They'll just grab every desk that is available. Unified communications is of course accelerating, which is one of the reasons we are doing this presentation. Headset usage is growing rapidly, and today there's a lot more focus on knowledge sharing and collaboration in organizations than just a few years back. All of these mentioned office trends are actually positive, but they don't come without challenges. In the open office, people and users are experiencing more noise. They will often experience more interruptions, and it's much harder to navigate in an open office with, example given, 20 people than it was previously when people were in small offices with 1, 2, or maybe 4 colleagues. So, especially for headset users, it's pretty hard to tell if a colleague is free to talk, because if you're wearing your headset, it can be very tough to determine whether a colleague is actually in a call, if he's attending a meeting or a conference call, if he's listening to music, or if he's simply just wearing the headset as an accessory. Might start to disrespect presence, not follow the guidelines that should hopefully have been given by management. The open office is of course also considered more stressful, and for headset users that will only hear incoming calls on the unified communication platform, it's very easy to miss a call. And if people start to miss calls, there will of course be a low user satisfaction on the UC platform. In worst case, the consequences of these challenges, if they are not taken into consideration and handled by management, the overall performance will of course suffer. If the office gets too stressful, people will have more sick days. And for the UC platform as an investment, there will be a very low user adoption, which means that the investment, which can be very high for many companies, has failed. So how can the Kuando Busylight actually help improve these things? The Kuando Busylights are the products you see here. On the right there's the Alpha, which is the original model, and on the left there's the Omega, which is a newer model, around 1.5 years old. The Kuando Busylights are USB devices that plugs in, and after downloading a small software, you will be able to use it on your UC platform. It's compatible with Skype for Business and Cisco Jabber and some other UC platforms. The Kuando Busylight has got a lot of features, but as this presentation is not an all-day event, I will focus on only 2 of these features. The Busylight is a speaker. Yeah, it sounds weird because everybody looks at the Busylight and sees the light, but actually often the main feature for companies is the call alert. The Busylight will flash on incoming calls, but we have also built in a ringer so that it's got 8 different ringtones. Especially for headset users, this is a very important feature. And why is call indication such an important feature? Because basically, call indication can help IT succeed with the telephone and the UC project. When you have call alert, you will ensure that calls are not being missed and IMs are not being missed, and this makes the UC environment much more reliable. Worst case scenario, which we see in many rollouts, is that people don't hear their calls, so they start to use their mobile phone instead. They start to encourage people to call them on the mobile. And then again, the UC project fails. But the Busylight, apart from also ring and flash on incoming calls, it will give you a notification when you have left your seat and have an unanswered call or an IM. It will flash every 5 seconds so that you know that you have something you need to attend at your desk. By having a call alert, it will reassure users that the UC solution is reliable, as I just said, so they won't start using their mobile phones instead. A thing that we also see in many offices is the need to concentrate. We see that quiet zones are becoming more popular, and so you can actually mute the Busylight so it won't ring, but you'll still be able to see your calls because the flash will alert you. So you'll probably ask why the Busylight is a better call alert than just enabling your PC speaker, or maybe buy a cheap USB speaker. And the Busylight has got some advantages. First of all, you won't, of course, get the flash from a USB speaker or the PC speaker, but also Windows does not see Busylight as an audio device, which actually means that Busylight will only ring or react to things concrete from the UC client. It won't make any sounds when you are surfing the internet. It won't make a sound when you open your PC or when you shut down your PC. You know, it will only make a sound that is directly connected to the Skype for Business, Cisco Jabber or UC client. And one advantage is that once you have downloaded the software, the Busylight is plug and play, so there's no user configuration needed, and the Busylight software will detect whether you have an Omega or an Alpha plugged in, so that it will change the default settings for the sound also. And since the Busylight is plug and play, it's much more easy for IT to handle the support, as there's again no user configuration needed. The second important feature of the Busylight is, of course, the light. You can basically say that the Busylight can work as a traffic light, because it's a way for you to signal to your surroundings, to your colleague, whether you are free to talk, free to communicate, or if you're in a do not disturb mode. As this slide says, 2 out of 3 employees actually complain that colleagues interrupt too much. Having a visual presence indication will help a lot, and I will tell you why. With the presence indication, you'll have a very intelligent UC collaboration tool. With the Busylight, you ensure that that the Skype for Business or Cisco Jabber status is visible in the open office, because what it does is it finds your status in the Skype for Business or Cisco Jabber client and displays it into the open office. This, of course, will help decrease unwanted interruptions, as people know whether you want to be disturbed or not, and we all know that interruptions can be very costly. Statistics say that when interrupted during a task, it might take maybe 20 minutes to get back into the same focus that you were before the interruptions. So interruptions are very costly to organizations. Furthermore, having a Busylight and having the status from the UC client in the office will create awareness and acceptance of the presence concept. which again will increase the user adoption of the UC platform. It will help, as stated before, employees control their own availability and time. It will save colleagues from walking across the office just to find a colleague who's busy anyway. It will hopefully improve the work environment and create a more stress-free work environment. And overall, it will contribute to a better collaboration. All in all, that should improve the performance, and the company and organization should hopefully have better results as an outcome. We do have two different models, as I said before. The original one is the Busylight UC Alpha, invented back in 2002, which is a small stick, as you see on the top picture. It goes very well on a monitor or even on a laptop. We have recently integrated small magnets in the foot, and as the Busylight comes with a small metal plate that can be attached to the laptop, to a monitor, or to a wall, the Busylight Alpha can actually be situated anywhere, and you can click it on and off if you want to bring it with you. This is very good for the open office environment, and especially in activity-based work areas. We have given it a USB cable of 3 meters. Initially it was shorter, but we found out that 3 meters, then the Busylight will actually be able to plug into 99% of all PCs. And it's got different certifications so that every rule is kept. The other one is the Busylight Omega, which was actually invented early last year, mainly because we did have some requests from the American market. As you probably know, in the US, big is better. So at the same time, they do work a lot in cubicle environments, as you see on the top picture, and they wanted a Busylight they could place on top of the monitor so everybody could see your status. Therefore, we came up with the Busylight Omega, which has a larger surface. You can be seen from a very long distance, and it has been taken very well against. But I would say it can be placed on top of a monitor as well if it's not too slim, but otherwise cubicles or wall dividers is the perfect setting for the Busylight Omega. It's got the exact same features, uses the same software as the Busylight Alpha, but it doesn't come with the magnets, as it's not to be placed on a laptop anyway. It's just got a adhesive tape mount. The Busylight software will be downloaded directly on Plenom's website. We only got one software for all products. For large companies, it can be mass deployed, and it's easy to make group policies to ensure that every user got the same settings, so nobody is fooling around changing the colors. For developers, we do have an open SDK, so third-party platforms can develop themselves and make compatibility with the Busylight. We already have several platforms who have done that. And as stated here, the software for Kuando products is tested and qualified for Lync and Skype for Business, and is compatible with Microsoft Lync Skype for Business and Cisco Jabber. These are the platforms that we have created the compatibility for ourselves. The software allows for customized indications of busy in a call and do not disturb. And we do have our own in-house support and development, which means that support is rather fast, and we can handle any issue there might be very well. So the Kuando Busylight has been recognized and accepted lately because it's a product for the whole company. I'll just briefly explain why. In IT department, where the focus is of course on creating a reliable and well-working communication platform, they have found that using a Busylight will improve the user adoption, and it can increase the headset usage. This is of course important because Buying a headset and a Busylight is a cheaper solution than buying desk phones, Skype desk phone for everyone. They know that call alert is very critical, so that calls are not being missed, again, to create a reliable UC environment. And the Busylight will help ease the transition from having an old PBX environment to a Skype for Business environment. In human resource departments, they like the fact that the Busylight will make fewer interruptions, it will reduce noise, and it will make room for concentration, and people will start to respect different colleagues' needs and aesthetic work patterns and different people's behavior. Optimizing interaction between colleagues, to know when it's okay to approach, actually supports the main goal of the open office, which is to have improved knowledge sharing. So human resources people are very fond of the Busylight, especially if it also helps them create the staff retention they like and have fewer sick days among staff. For facility and workplace departments, where they focus on the design of the workplace, they like that it ensures an optimized workplace ready to boost performance. And with both the Busylight Alpha and the Omega, they can choose the design they like so that it fits their needs and environments. We do have some different resources available. I haven't mentioned them all here, of course, but we will always have sample offers to end users who would like to trial. We do offer free proof of concepts for larger projects. We have case stories and references. As you see on the picture on the left, is actually taken from a case story where Microsoft installed 700 Busylight units to one of their new offices. We help with direct touch when needed. We do presentations like this one, and we attend meetings if we can help explain the concept. And if any of you would like to know more on test the Busylight, you are very welcome to email me or send me a chat through the email address mentioned right here. And for me, with the picture of DLA Piper's office environment in Brisbane in Australia, with the Busylight Omegas, there's nothing more for me to say than thank you for listening, and I wish you all a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ole, to be with us. Thank you again for this, insightful presentation, actually. And I think it really improves the environment for the UC and contact center. And with you, this is the last session of the contact center landscape for Skype for Business, and ucug.it ends the presentation. Thank you again for this, Ole, and I'll speak to you soon, okay?
You're very welcome.